Well, good morning and welcome to another little video. Before I get started, just for my media manager, Tyna, if you could like and subscribe, hit those buttons down below. If they're down below, I don't know where they show up on the screen actually, but that would be cool, thank you. Make her very happy. God, not religion, God. God is everything. If God is everything, that includes you and it includes me, which means we are God, not part of God, but we are of God. So if you wanted to look at that as an idea of the expression of life itself, you can. The expression of life itself emerges as, in this world, many things. In fact, every living thing on the planet. And whether you're aware of it or not, or whether you think about it much during the day or not, you're connected on a very intrinsic level with all things, all living things. And in this place where everything seems to be separate from each other, all living things, including that bush turkey that's just walking past out there, forms a kind of a network of relationships. And I don't really want to get into the relationship side of things at the moment, but many of my videos are about that. In fact, pretty much all of them are about that, since relationships are the core and the basis of teaching and learning, which is what we're here in this world to do. The world is a classroom. We're here as a part of a journey of the soul, or seemingly here as a part of the journey of the soul, in an imaginary sense of ourselves, wherein we seem to have one of these avatars, these bodies to use for the experience, to navigate it for 40 years or 50 years or 110 years or 1 year or 1 week, or maybe not even making it. But all of that, of course, is dependent upon time and space, which is completely chaotic. And so the nature of my message in this video is primarily, apart from the fact that as above in eternity, so on earth, all things are one, the nature of the message of this video is about using time, about learning to use time that you have, and to see the gift that it is that it offers you, because nothing here in this realm, in this time and space experience, is guaranteed other than death. And that might sound a little morbid for first thing in the morning. If you're watching this, it's nearly 6 a.m. here. But there's never a good time to look at the ideas of death or look at the ideas of life, and to hold ourselves to some level of accountability with that regarding our purpose on earth. So if I go to the very basics, I'm on a journey of the soul. I find myself in the third dimension with a memory wipe, initially a memory wipe, where I don't know why I'm here, what I'm here to do, what the meaning of anything is. I don't know why I feel like I don't fit in. I don't know why I feel so odd about myself all the time. There's this little splinter in my mind's eye that niggles away 24/7, driving me slowly crazy, driving me slowly insane. And everything in the world sets up a field of judgment, a thought system of judgment, wherein I judge myself continually and consistently and thoroughly and very reliably as being separate from everyone and everything. And I think sometimes to myself that the whole world's gone crazy and I'm the only one that seems to notice. Of course, if you're watching this video with me in the year 2023 when I'm making it, you only have to turn on your television set and watch the mainstream media these days to realise that the reporting of things is completely biased. The nature of social interaction and social structure is falling apart and everything like that. And it's going to get crazier. It's going to get worse as the awakening continues. And not worse in the sense as in, oh no, that's terrible, but worse in the sense as it's going to take more to try and make your way through it and become more tangible with it, as a functional kind of person, as a functional being. But each age has its own atrocities, just as it has its own triumphs, because in the world here everything is dualistic, everything, and this is initially until you begin your spiritual journey, everything bears the hallmarks of yin and yang, duality. Day follows night. You can't have sickness without health. There's going to be rich and poor, and there's right and wrong, and better and worse, and everything, if you think about it in your mind, everything is based on opposites. And so you tend to structure your life trying to look for the good things and try to keep all the negative stuff at bay, which of course only validates the negative stuff and keeps the good stuff as valid in your own mind as well. And actually, unbeknownst to you, keeps you in that cycle of yin and yang. And then there are other kinds of people that look for balance between the yin and yang. Well, there's nothing more unstable than the notion of balance. Imagine living your life on a teeter-totter, like just constantly there. You're having to continually bring everything into balance. Every time something changes in the world and your thoughts are upset by something, oh, I've got to find balance again. It's not about balance. Our friend the bush turkey can tell you that. So you find yourself in this rather confusing world, and from a very young age you're taught to judge and be judgmental about everything in order to try and find your way safely through the world and navigate without too many problems. And by the time you reach sort of midlife, 30s or something, the idea of being fairly competent to navigate the world on your own terms seems to be something that you would sort of assess yourself with, you know, and you'd say, well, I'm fairly mature now. I feel good about how I see the world and blah, blah, blah. Not realizing, of course, that you see it the way that the world wants you to see it, not as it actually is. And the world really doesn't have any intention when I say that. It's like the systems of the world want you to see it. Right now, the learning system of the world is, which is duality, is not good or bad. It's just the way it is, right? It doesn't have any intention. Particularly, imagine if you were washed up on a deserted island and you had to come up with a system of survival. It's the same thing. So here you are, you find yourself here as, let's say, the first bunch of people on the planet to develop communication. And you have to decide how it is that you're going to proceed and what it is that you're going to be about, based on the evidence and the particulars of your external experience. Once you develop a successful, or reasonably successful, or once you develop the most successful method for navigating your environment that you think you can come up with, then generally that sticks and you teach it to others, and that becomes what you hand down over generations and generations until we have what we have today, which is a complete disaster as far as learning and teaching in the world goes. And it doesn't even ever seem as if there's a whole other way to use your mind that has nothing to do with duality, nothing to do with the yin and yang perspective of good and bad or right and wrong, mine and yours. And not everybody's going to want to hear that. A lot of people are very invested in mine and yours. A lot of people are very invested in good and bad and sickness and health because they make a great deal of money out of these investments. And they're able to feel a certain sense of control because they have some kind of authority regarding those investments. However, all worldly authority is temporary, and it doesn't matter how much money you amass or how much power you have, you're still going to find yourself in a 6-foot hole in a pine box at the end of the journey. back to do it again. And here's the clincher. Every time you come back to do it again, you're weighed in the balance. Now, if you're a Buddhist, you'll be looking at those ideas in regard to the bardo states, the after-death states, or the afterlife. And a lot of people tell me that they don't believe in the afterlife. They think that this is it. Once you lay your body aside, you just cease to exist, and boom, and what's the point? And exactly what is the point if that's the case? But having had an experience of direct union with God in 1997, I'm telling you that's not the case. It's very much not the case. There is no such thing as death. There are two options. You come back again to try again, and I'll get into that a little bit more later on, or you go forward in the journey of your soul onto a higher vibratory frequency, or a higher level of experience of yourself in a new realm with a new avatar perhaps, and you begin all over again in a less dense, less ridiculous way. So, we've got another visitor out there, little poochie dog. The world you see around you is an illusion of a world. It's not a real world, not a true world. But whilst you find yourself in it, it's unwise not to treat it as reality because you're already in a state of denial. And to deny the world that you find yourself in whilst you seem to still experience it is a particularly unworthy form of denial in itself that would add to your sense of denial in the first place. It's nothing more than a form of transcendence. And that's particularly one of the elements of Buddhism that I'm not fond of, is the meditative process wherein you transcend the world for a moment to find your quiet mind and then come back into the body, into the physical frame, to experience the same lot of nonsense all over again. And you find yourself meditating for longer and longer periods. The more intolerable the world seems, and the more intolerable it seems to you to be, obviously, every time you come back, because you have a reference for peace in your mind as that solitude and meditative quiet, and that's what you want. And of course, you can't find that in the world. The world is always changing, and there's something always going on. So you begin a spiritual journey, and if you're like me, you've probably got a Course in Miracles. You can order it online, and you begin to read the text and do the workbook lessons, and your mind begins to change. You start to realize the circles of the experience that you find yourself in your own association, wherein the same sorts of things seem to happen to you again and again, and you seem to get triggered over and over by perhaps the same kind of energetic occurrences, but in different forms showing up. Same thing with a different person, same thing with a different town, whatever it is. And simply that's because you take your mind with you everywhere you go, and your mind is the projector of your world. You're manifesting your world in its entirety. And there are a lot of people who like to think of the power of positive manifestation and The Secret, that book that came out a little while ago, and all sorts of things like that. And I'm not here to try and convince you or to encourage you to become better at manifesting anything. I'm here to give you a very simple message. Let's get our asses out of here. Let's learn about time and how to collapse time, and the best way to do that. So if you like this video, I'm not going to get into it now. I've got people at the front door, but if you like this video, like, subscribe and everything else, and there's about 300 videos on my channel, so you can get into those and join me in the rest of my journey if you like, and I'll see you soon. Peace.